All right, everybody. Welcome to the Steve Fusil Show. I am Steve Fusil. I want to welcome our guest, man. Modern day car sales, clubhouse contributor, daily rise and grinder, man. Early morning guy, and 12-year, 13, 14-year car guy, 20-year car guy, 12 years at the current Toyota store is what I was getting to. And then, I mean, just a specialist in all things automotive and BDC and everything else. So welcome to the show, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
thank
man.
You.
Yeah. I think we'll just we'll keep that other portion we were talking and rolling. We've been talking for 2 hours, man. We should have hit record a long time ago, but we've been having a good time. So
I better go tell my ride for a couple more hours.
You got an Uber out there waiting for you?
Yeah.
No, that's an interesting story. I had something similar happen to me. We were talking earlier about how I got in the car business. I don't know if I've ever told this on the podcast. If I have, you can fast forward. If not, just, maybe I'll tell it differently. We'll see if I'm telling the truth. But I was in the car business. I moved to Houston, Texas. I grew up in Austin. I moved to Houston and had an opportunity to live in one of my grandmother's, owned a couple houses, and she had a rent house that was empty. And I was breaking up with my girlfriend, whatever at the time. I said, well, I'll move to Houston. I get this rent-free house and be a good opportunity to try something new, And so I moved to Houston, got a job at a little used car lot. And I was, I've sort of always been chubby. And if I don't manage it, I just get fat, right? So I was like, I'm going to the gym. I'm going to unmanage myself, I'm also a pretty stocky kid. I was always athletic and strong and big, but, my body just tends to get fat. So I was like, I'm going to the gym and get my life together. And I'm in the gym, and the guy that sells me the membership, a Bally's Total Fitness membership, right? Which was, we were in the conference the other day, and the what's his name? I don't remember, that was speaking, said he worked at Bally's.
Yeah.
And I talked to him about it later. I said, oh yeah, I was there too. So I went to work I went in to sign up for the membership. The guy's like, hey man, you could sell here and make good money. And I looked at him and I was like, buddy, I'm going to make 60 grand this year, hold the farm, kiddo.
I'm not selling gym memberships.
Yeah, I'm selling gym memberships. And he kind of looked at me and he goes, well, I chase women all day, work out, tan, I wear shorts, and I made 93 last year. And I was like, oh, so you guys are hiring,
Where do I sign?
So I went to work in the health club business for a couple of years. And honestly, it was the greatest sales training that I ever had in my life. Like you were talking about, we had books that were registers, right? So they were 3-ring binders, and there were 3 of them. There was the TI, the uplog. So there was basically a fresh uplog, right? Then there was a guest registry log, right? And then there were phone ups, right? And so you would basically, as an employee, you'd go to to your sales manager's office, the GM, and go, hey, I need somebody to call. And they'd go, there's your phone log, get after it, right?
Right.
This is the same phone log that I called yesterday, and it's the same phone log that you called yesterday, and the same phone log that these 5 other salespeople called, because there weren't 5 registries, right? There was one for the store, and you just plow through them, and then and it was like, okay, how do I get these folks in, And we learned to just make appointments off of that, and then I learned to close guests, and I was like, oh, this is how you ask for money. It's like, got it. It's not a trick.
No,
you just got to
ask.
And you got to have a product that you know how to communicate to people, make it valuable, and then you have the right to ask them to pay for that product. And I was like, oh, this is way easier than I thought it was.
Yeah.
So you're saying you're plowing through. So what was the step after the phone logs and the telemarketing? What was the steps after that?
Making those cold calls. Literally, here's a phone book, go after it. And I'll tell you what, don't put the phone down. Because that shit gets heavy once you put it down. You can't get back up.
Hard to pick it back up.
No. And then I partying, making lots of money, in my very early 20s. One day, wake up on a Sunday morning and look at my roommate hungover, and you want to move to California. I'm a Madison, Wisconsin, 20-year-old kid, right?
Yeah.
So had a garage sale next weekend, hit California.
All right.
Yeah, I had some experience with telemarketing. Had run a telemarketing office during college for the veterans of foreign wars. Did that for a few years. Sold the most expensive trash bags and American flags. No, they'll get more expensive than the ones we sold. give me $30 for 100 garbage bags in 1987.
Yeah, it's like $100 for 30 bags right now. Something. I mean,
it's, yeah,
very similar to that.
Yeah, so sold the most expensive garbage bags and American flags for the veterans and helped them with their needs. And got California and was here for just a couple weeks. Got a call from California. Got a call from the adjutant quartermaster for the VFW for Northern California, San Francisco area.
Yeah.
So we want to fire up our telemarketing office. They'd shut it down for a while, a number of years, because the previous operator had done some really bad things. And they wanted to open this place up, and they said, well, we'd like to interview you. Come on over. Now I'm 21 years old, right? But I'd done well for the state of Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Walk into this beautiful call center in 1988 in the Bay Area, beautiful 20,000 foot, back then state of the art phone calling system, which was basically push button forms. Dial phones, right? And they wouldn't let me hire.
State of the art.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah. Don't you love that? Yeah. But they wouldn't let me fill the phone room because they wanted people who were veterans or related to veterans. And I'm sorry, with all due respect, they're not salespeople. They're people who have a heart for veterans.
Right.
And so, no, I passed on that. And then one day, about 2 months go by, and my roommate said, boy, we should probably pay the rent. Otherwise, we're not going to have a place to live. I had no interest in cars. I mean, I wasn't disinterested. I just wasn't a car person. My family owned a car dealer, not my direct family, back in Madison, but I never had any interest in it.
Yeah.
And so he said, I just got a job at this dealer here down on Fremont Boulevard, Fremont, California. He said, why don't you go to get a job? I said, well, I suppose until I find something. So stumbled into a dealership, and couldn't have been a worse place. Steve couldn't have picked a worse dealership. Guess the brands. I'll tell you. You'll never guess.
Okay.
Fremont Dodge.
Okay.
Isuzu.
Okay.
Yugo. Dodge, Isuzu, Yugo in 1988.
That's a tough call.
Yeah. That's where it started.
This is pre minivan, pre Dodge truck.
Well, no, the Dodge Caravan was out.
It was
in 1988. Yeah.
So 88's the first
came out
Caravan.
in 84, 83.
Really?
84, yeah, somewhere in there. But so that's the only thing we sold. Of course, we had
100%.
conversion vans. We had Isuzus, but people couldn't pronounce
the conversion vans.
Right,
Yeah. God bless them.
Yeah, 1988, we had 4 brand new 1986 Yugos on the lot. And those damn things, you go out every day to key them up, put the key in, the whole key bezel will fall right in.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so finally the dealer decided those things needed to go, so we had a conversion van sale. If you bought a conversion van, you got a Yugo.
No.
Right? So in like one weekend, we sold all the Yugos and the conversion vans. But yeah, that next Tuesday, 2 of the Yugos came back. They just came back, gave us the keys, and said,
we'll
keep the van. Yeah,
we'll keep.
Well, for any of you who were around during Yugo days, you go, I stay here.
You go, I stay here. I had only one experience with a Yugo. So the high school days, my buddy ended up with one as a first car or something. I don't know how that car, it must have been his grandmother's that sat in the driveway and never got driven, because I think it was probably the last running Yugo on the planet, in 1990 or something.
Yeah. Those things are something else.
Somebody somewhere has one sitting in a garage and it's pristine. You know what I mean? It's
they think it's going to be worth something.
It's going to be worth. It's a classic.
Yeah. No.
Maybe at the Smothers Brothers Museum or something.
They make
right?
a beautiful lawn ornament.
Just
put it right in front of it. But no, that's how I got started. You can believe it. I stayed with the business, and my closer was stealing my spiffs and the whole 9 yards.
What a nice guy, right? Well, he's got an alcohol habit he needed to feed, right? So.
Yeah. I think he had every color of Sansa belt slacks you could get. The ones
those are so awful.
Over the belly. Yeah.
And they stretched on the sides. They did the rayon. My God, the colors.
Yeah.
Beyond the material of those pants and those products, the colors that they came in.
How about the burgundy?
That's exactly what I'm thinking.
You know what I mean? The burgundy Sans belt slacks.
Why did all used car managers wear that? Dude?
And old Pete was always hiking those things up.
Yeah, they'd pull them up
over his belly, the whole 9 yards. Yeah, that was.
Why was that ever okay?
I don't know, but he always had this fake Rolex, and he's always doing this, fixing his
playing it, showing you.
Yeah. But then he'd say, "What do you think? It's a great knockoff, isn't it?" I'm like, Pete, why would you tell me it's a knockoff if you're trying to get by with a Rolex? But everybody he talked to, it was like his badge of honor that he had a knockoff that looked like a Rolex.
That looked like a Rolex. Fucking Pete, man. I wonder how old Pete fared when it was all said and done.
No, I got out. I did land at a nice store in California, and then one day I moved back to Wisconsin. Been back there ever since.
So how long were you in California? How long?
Just
and
3
you've been
years.
3 years.
Yeah.
And then so 24, 25, you moved back to Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And right back into automotive.
Yeah. I took a job at a Lincoln Mercury store. Worked there for 8 years. Then I left there. And
How was that? Was that fun?
What's that?
How was the Lincoln Mercury experience? I did
Well,
a
we used to-
Ford store.
Back in the late '80s, early '90s. Lincoln Mercury sold really
Yeah,
well.
no, that was
really
was a hell of a hot brand back then.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Actually,
the Cougar and
the store I worked at actually sold more more Mercuries than the
Really?
Ford store locally sold cars, not trucks, but cars. If you want one for one, it
what
was
were their lines? So you had the
Grand Marquis,
Tracer,
Sable,
Sable.
Tracer, Sable, Cougar.
Yeah, the Cougar.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought those Cougars were cool. They had the cat on the side. That was
Yeah,
a cool
until,
car.
until the snow hits the ground, you go spinning down the highway because
Yeah,
they were
yeah,
rear-wheel drive, if you
Correct.
remember right? And traction control was not a thing.
No, it was not a thing.
Yeah. You either had to put saltwater softener salt in the back or dead bodies, one of the two, to keep some weight
keep the weight in the
I
rear.
wasn't so keen on the dead body idea.
I don't know how you guys get it. I look, man. I do not know how you drive and all that stuff. You're tough people up there. I don't think people give you enough credit. You're tough. You're tough, hardy folk up there, man.
I'm getting out.
Yeah.
I've had it.
Enough
50
is
plus,
enough.
I'm done. Yeah, a couple more years, I'll be out.
What was the straw that broke the back?
Just you get tired of the cold.
Yeah, for sure.
And not just the cold, but the gray cloud. I mean, 6 weeks of not seeing the sunshine. And I know there's worse places.
Sure.
God bless you for living there. I'm not. I'm out. you know.
Where do you want to go, man? Dallas is great.
Well, I want to go warm, but I don't want to go Dallas. Dallas is nice. It's just too hot. Okay.
It is getting hotter. I feel like it's hotter than it used to be. Of course. So I spent. I grew up in Austin, in the hill country, and I don't know what it is. Maybe I was just young, didn't pay much attention to it. I mean, obviously it was hot, but I always felt like there was a little bit of a breeze or just a little bit of a coolness that would, roll through and keep you okay. And I still feel that way in Austin in some places you go to, and it's becoming a concrete jungle. And I think some of that's going
This
away.
place, I've never seen so much concrete. You drive around this place, I mean, it's
Dallas has a lot of
nuts.
concrete. You go to Houston. So
well, you got a lot of sand, so you can make a lot of concrete.
That's right.
Just cover the sand with concrete.
Just cover it
You don't have
up.
to move it far.
Yeah, when I moved to Houston, like I was saying, and you never seen something just so expansive and big and just filled with density of people and automotive materials and cars. And it's a wild place, man. There's just so much movement and stuff there, and Dallas is a nice break. So I've done Austin, Dallas. I lived in Charlotte for a few years. I worked at a Mercedes store up there, and it was a good time. Good people. Charlotte was. I really kind of I could do Charlotte because I don't do the cold like you're saying.
Yeah,
right?
that's on my list.
But it's soft cold. It's there and it goes, but you get the pretty.
Yeah.
You get the snow for a week and it's over. Listen, anything's great for a week. It's snowing, how fun, and then it's over. And you're like, okay, cool. And then
Greenville's on my list.
Yeah, that's a great place.
Yeah.
Man. I mean, it's just so lovely.
Yep.
Ugh, God, it's so lovely up there. But
Yep.
so that was cool. But I do really love Dallas. I think we just have this combination of city without being a big city. Dallas is really small in actuality. I mean, like its communities are pretty tight, and it's like, oh, okay, this is that thing, that thing, that thing. It's kind of bubbled, and the bubbles are easy to kind of mix around
It
between.
doesn't take long to get out of the city.
No.
Out somewhere outside.
Yeah, no. I mean, you can be outside of town in 15, 20
I
minutes,
went to
and it's
the
easy.
Blue Bonnet Festival today. That was awesome.
Yeah.
I can't even remember where it was, but it was
Somewhere.
somewhere. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah,
It was
that's
good.
cool. Yeah, it's great. So I love Dallas, but so Charlotte's on your list?
Yeah, Charlotte's on my list. Greenville's on my list.
Charlotte's affordable.
Yeah. If I could take Madison, pick it up, move it 800 miles south, I would do it.
I hear it's a lovely place. I've never been.
Yeah, no, it's a beautiful city.
Yeah.
Beautiful city, beautiful lakes, lots of things to do. Anywhere.
When you can do them.
Yeah, well, April to October is amazing.
Really?
Right, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
But the other time.
well,
awful.
it's, 13 months of winter and 2 weeks of summer.
I think I heard you say
get
that
worn out. Yeah.
the other day. Yeah, it's awful. It's
Yeah,
awful.
no, I'm done with it.
Yeah.
You know,
So are you staying car business?
Yeah. Well, I'm working in. I'll probably transition to a full-time vendor situation. I mean, I work in other verticals outside of my regular gig.
Yeah.
Which we talked about,
Yeah, I want to talk about it on here too because and help. We'll just dive into it. So here, watch this. I love this. I just put this on the other day. Watch. We'll just rev right into this. Oh, we're not getting any noise. Oh, look at that. I hit that.
Revved right
I think it's
into
this
it.
one. Isn't that awesome? I just totally screwed that whole thing up. It's so fun. All right, we'll rev right into it. Oh.
Easy.
There we go. Look at that.
Oh, wow.
I've literally only hit that button once. I just put it on there because I could.
Yeah.
I was making a video. It's kind of funny that it's funny that I did this and I didn't mean to do it on purpose, but I have that sound because I was making videos for our dealership, kind of for me to learn. So I could learn Premiere Pro and do some editing and have some fun and I like learning new skills. We were talking about this earlier, right? And so, and I'm not a computer person. Like computers sort of missed my generation and my interest level, right? So I wasn't. The Commodore 64 is my first thing, and like trying to have to code to play a game just infuriated my mind so much. It's just not how my brain works, right?
Wow.
And so I and we didn't have a home computer early on, in those times. And I'm the first Nintendo generation at 12 or 13 years old, and so, and I wasn't really a video gamer. I mean, obviously till, 14, 16, something like that. And I'm an activity guy. I want to go skateboard, ride bike. Yeah. Well, hell, I'm okay with sitting down even inside. I just don't care about games. And so that kind of turned me off. And then the car business was not computer driven back then, right? I mean, we didn't have computers in our desk till 97. No, till 2000, 2001. Yeah. And I mean, if you weren't a manager, you didn't even have a computer. Like, I mean,
right.
I mean, they'd yell at you for having a calculator,
right.
Right. We got a calculator in your desk over there. Get the calculator,
No, I was way ahead of you because
Yeah.
I bought my first computer in '94 after winning a sales contest, trip to Hawaii for 10 days. And I talked to the dealer and said, could I take the cash and buy a computer? He says, what the hell are you going to do with a computer? 1994. Wow. I said, I'm going to build a website. He said, what's a website? I said, humor me, give me the cash. And I went and bought the most expensive computer I've ever bought.
Yeah, really?
Right? In
to this
1994. Yeah. I mean, I bought some beautiful computers, but I've never spent $3,400 on a computer.
Wow.
Now, what was that computer back then?
Yeah.
Right?
What was it?
It's 64 meg. Right? But, took that computer and built my first website in 1996. Bought the dealer's name, right? Bought the dealer's name.
Really?
Nobody had websites. I mean, when I did this is GM, Ford, Toyota wasn't there, right? Built my own website, bought the dealer's name, right? Go to the website, and guess what? It was me, my picture, this, that, and the other thing. Bought the most expensive digital camera I've ever bought, $900, that held 3 pictures, and it took 2 hours to upload them up over the modem as I ran the telephone wire up over into the finance office and plugged it into the back of the fax machine, and they said, what's that wire there? Don't worry about it. I'm building websites.
I'm building a website.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah.
Don't worry about it. I'm building a website.
Yeah,
what's a website? Don't worry about it. Leave that wire alone.
Yeah, so the first thing I did is I built this one-page website. Then I used the printer in the office there and printed out
the dot matrix printer,
flyers. And then I went down to University of Wisconsin-Madison, looked for every bulletin board there was in every place I could find it, pinned it up and said, buy a car, go here. And the reason I did that was the only people that had computers was the university, and university students had access to professors did.
Yeah.
So I was always going down there, pinning up, making sure they weren't tearing my flyer off the bulletin boards in the cafeterias and conference rooms. And
that's pretty damn smart, brother.
Yeah,
you're an enterprising little bastard, aren't you? Yeah.
Did that for a couple of years, and then And one day the dealer said, "I heard you've got my name doing something on the internet or something." I said, "Oh yeah, I have a website. If that's what you got." And he said,
I heard you got my name on the internet. What is that?
And
What's
said,
the internet?
What's this website? I said, "What's your name?"
Yeah.
How do I get there? And I showed him. He said, Holy hell, can you do this for me? And I said, yeah, I can do that for you. Do you want to buy the domain?
Yeah. What's a domain, right?
You're in luck.
Don't worry about it. Give me $80.
You're in luck. Your name's for sale.
Yeah.
And I sold it back to the dealer.
I bet you wish you'd have held on. I bet you wish you'd have held on to that licensing a little longer, huh?
Yeah, no kidding. Well, that was back in the days when you could step on other people's domains because they didn't have alarms, and then somebody would buy them and they'd quit, and nobody knew they quit, and they expired, and you squat on Nissan.com, which we all know about that story. Yeah, that was back in those days.
Yeah, piracy, man. I mean, it's legal. It's legal, right?
Yeah. No,
hey, buyer beware, sir. Buyer beware,
just
sir.
Found some of the biggest companies and looked for their expiration date.
Yep.
And the guy who bought it quit, left, whatever. It expired. Bought it up, sold it back to him.
That's it. That's it. That guy probably knew. Yeah. So you build your website. All this is going on. And what's your position at the time? What are you doing there? You're selling?
At the time, lease manager, selling, dual role type of thing, doing red carpet leases and that type of thing, doing some sales training, met up with Grant back in 1992, took his courses. I still have his original Selling Cars in the 90 tape series. He signed it more than once for me. And
I tell you what, though, that you can say whatever you want, but and things have changed, but that's still a pretty solid tape, man.
It's solid because his stuff is just telling the customers what they want to know and hear.
Right.
That's the thing. That's why there was so much pushback. It was really transparent back in the 90s, and that's not what dealers wanted.
Right.
Like to move you up and show you how to keep your payments the same. Can we do that for you today?
Yeah.
Super. Let's go.
Yeah. Right.
He changed all my word tracks.
Yeah.
And I didn't have other alternatives. It was not trial and error after that.
Yeah, and that's we were talking about this earlier also. And hell, Glenn and I were talking about it. I mean, I had my first experience with Glenn. This is probably, not with Glenn, but with Grant was, I don't even remember the tape, but somebody get rid of the CD. I had a CD and I was in my demo and I'm coming back from lunch. Somebody giving it to me, or I'd asked for it, I think. And so let me get that. I want to listen to that. Somebody had bought it or something. Mm-hmm. I put it in my thing, go to lunch. I remember it real specifically. And I'm coming back from lunch, and I was the turn guy. I was always the guy. I'm a great car salesman, and I don't mind saying that because I am a great car salesman. But I am better on a turn than I am even up front. I love taking those turns. I love when people are leaving. I mean, it's the chaos that drives me. I'm like, fire, let's go. Hey, come here, let me talk to you. Because it's a challenge. It's a game. Can I win? Can I win? Can I win? Right? Yeah. And so, and I'm listening to Grant, and I walk into the office, and somebody goes, I know exactly what it was David Lorenz, and he goes, hey, Steve, go talk to John's customer or whatever. And I said, all right, yeah, sure. I go in. I don't know anything about the car deal, which I never do.
I never wanted to.
I never did either. The salesman's always in my ear telling me, I said, just leave me alone. Let me go talk to this guy.
Let me tell you what I got going on.
Right.
Don't care.
Pass.
Don't want to know.
Pass. Right. Yeah. I want to go find out what's going on.
Right.
You don't know what's going on.
Clearly, you've been sold out of this deal. I don't need you to sell me out of this deal.
You have no idea what's going on.
Right.
Let me go find out what's going on.
Right.
So I walk in, and the guy tells me, he says, hey, man, everything's great here. Love the car. Love the price. Payment's perfect. Whatever. Not a problem, man. I just got to go talk to my wife. And I said, listen, man, that sounds like everything is perfect. We got love the car, love the price, payment's perfect. Like,
what if she says no?
I don't even do that one. What he gave me was, he said, let me ask you a question. I just hit him. I heard it 5 minutes before, and it just word tracked in my head. And I said, Tony, let me ask you a question. I'm respectfully, I would talk to my wife also about a lot of things, but typically we talk prior to me to do things because I kind of want to know what my budget is, and that's how the payment's already perfect. That's how the price range already perfect.
My wife already knows I'm here.
You already talked about it, right? And so I said, when you go talk to her tonight, what are you going to talk about? You can talk about the car, or are we going to talk about the money, right? What's the topic of discussion? He says, well, honestly, it's the money. Well, of course it's the money, right? Of course it's the money. Right. I said, not a problem, man. I get it. I said, I'd talk to my wife about the money too. I said, let me ask you a question. When you go talk to her, you're going to tell her that the money's too cheap or that it's too high. She said, well, it's too much. I said, okay. And 5 seconds ago, you said payment's perfect, right? But I'm not going to get into all that. And I said, that's fine. And so you just hit him with, I said, here's some questions. How far away are we from your ideal payment situation?
Right. Or her.
Or her, right? Yeah. Y'all's payment situation. Right. He says, whatever the number was, $250 or whatever. I go, that's easy to solve. He says, it is? I said, oh, yeah. Hell, I said, I do this every day. I said, I don't know if you know this or not. Tony, I sell cars. And he, and they laugh. I said, I sell cars for a living,
to feed myself.
Yeah. I said, and I said, so, and I just grabbed a piece of paper and I said, the sticker on this car is $32,995. You've chosen the LT pack. That's $59.95. The sunroof's $995. The
Price recap.
yeah. I said, so this is simple. You know, you said the Suburban is what you have to have because you got 17 kids, right? And this is the only thing that'll fit your needs. And so this fits perfect for you. So we know we got to have the $32,995 base price. We know we got to have that because we know everybody fits in the base
Suburban.
Suburban.
Seats if we don't get the Bourbon.
Right. I said, so the base price of where you're at $32,995 is perfect. Right. That fits all your needs. Now you want the LT pack. You said because the kids are messy and spill stuff on there and you end up having to replace the seat or the car's not worth anything. It's got stuff all over it. Plus, it's more comfortable. Your wife would prefer the leather because her daughter has You said you wanted the sunroof because your wife loves to look up and gaze at when she's putting the makeup on when you're going to the symphony, whatever, blah, 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 blah. And we list all these things out. And I said, so the greatest thing about this whole situation is you're already at $600. I said, but the option you've chose, these options you've chosen here,
they're $200 more.
They're $250 a month more. I said, but that's easily solvable too. If I could solve them for you, can I sell you a car today? He said, well, sure. I don't see why not. I said, well, great. I said, you got basically three options, right? You can pay cash for the difference here of what we're looking at, just another $9,995 in cash. You can do that if you got a surplus.
Payments where you want to be.
Payments $600, just like you asked for. I said we could stretch that term out a little bit, right? And maybe get that and da. I said, or we could take off some of these options. I said 4 options. Or we could take some of these options off, find you a little bit lesser car, but that's not what you want to do. I already know that because I can see your face going, that doesn't sound good. And I said, or I could take that on the pre-owned department. I know for a fact I've got one that's almost exactly like this. It's certified by a mechanic, blah, 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 blah. And that's going to be right at $600 to $700 a month, which is easier pill to swallow. Which one of the 4 do you want?
Yeah.
He said, well, what if I gave you another $2,000 down at blah, blah, blah. And boom, sold a car.
You know,
right
the
there.
difference is, and I see this all the time, we offer the switch as a last stitch. We haven't even planted the seed for that possibility until they're already ready to walk out the door.
Right.
And so one of the things I coach is offer the switch from the word go. From the minute you meet and greet them, I want an XLE, I want this, I want that, I want this, let's go see what we've got. And as we're walking down the line for the whatever, XLE, have you considered an LE? Has everything you want, except it doesn't have this and this and this.
Right.
Nope, got to have the LE, no XLE, boom, down the so that I can come back later in the conversation and do exactly what you just did and say, right, do you remember the LE we looked at earlier? Mm-hmm. That'll save you that $250 a month.
Right.
So we take a look at that. No, I really got to have that. I understand you should have exactly what you want. Go ahead and sign here. We'll get it ready for you.
That's it.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing else to it.
Yeah, but my point is, we don't offer that that switch early enough. It's a last-ditch effort.
Agreed.
And I think if you offer it earlier in the process, even though they say no, when you bring it up later, it's not the last ditch because you've given them that option early on. They told you early on they were willing to step.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense.
And it's just a suggestive sell. It's not a hard sell. Let me show you the LE.
Right, you got to buy the LE.
Yeah, would you consider this? It'll save you $3,000 a month. That's
Right.
$150 a month. Would you? Nope, got to have this. Get up later in the conversation. The payment too high. I'm confused.
Yep.
You said you didn't want the one that had $150 lower payment. You want this one.
Right.
I agree. You should have this one. Press hard, 3 copies.
That's it. Yeah. Yeah. Right. I mean, it's simple, but it still gets back to, do you know how to sell cars?
Right.
Right. Do you know how to sell cars? And is selling cars an honorable trade? Of course it is.
Oh, it absolutely is.
Right.
Absolutely is.
If you know how to sell cars.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Right. Yeah. And I think that a lot of salespeople are not approaching it from the angle that you and I just talked about, and that is, you've got to be thinking ahead of this game.
It's 3D chess.
It's not a react to what the customer says.
Right.
It's the response you use every time a customer says that.
Right.
And that's where a lot of salespeople miss it. It's what if he says this? Am I going to, now what do I say?
Now what do I
Well,
do?
you know what they're going to say because the last 50 people said the same thing. You just didn't remember what worked and didn't work.
Right.
Because every time they say it, you try something different, and that didn't work either.
You don't have a process. You don't have a procedure. You don't have an MO. You don't have an idea. You don't have a clue. And that gets back to the training. And, good kudos on you for being in 92 a student of your game, right? And that's why you're here today.
Oh, absolutely. If you're not a student of this game, you shouldn't be in this game.
Correct.
Right? So if you want to be a top performer in your dealership, if you're 12, 15, maybe every once in a while you stumble into 20 because you got a couple of house deals and you feel like a hero.
Right.
If you want to move to that next level, if you want to move to that 30, 40, 50 car guy, what you need to do is when that 40, 50 car guy has a guest in his office, you need to be a fly on the wall in the next office and listen to what that person says every time the customer says price too high. Because your top performers don't make it up as they go along.
No.
Right? And if you sit next to that guy, and I did this many times, you sit next to him in his, not in his office, and just eavesdrop.
Yeah.
Listen to what he's saying.
Yep.
And then if you circle back and say, how'd you do that? Most of those top performers don't even know how they're doing it.
Right.
Right? It's just natural.
They learned it somewhere, but they never realized they learned it. It just became their repetitious habit. It's that muscle memory of, I understand what you're saying, sir, or yes, ma'am, let me accommodate you. Or it's just the same action. You know, it's Tom Brady with a lean, a pump, and a throw. You know, it's the same muscle memory. Yeah. And, you know, if you ask Tom Brady, Tom, where'd you learn how to shuffle like that? Like, I mean, maybe he remembers it was the 8th grade coach or whatever, but most likely he's like, I don't know.
You know what he did? He took ownership of it, and now it's his.
It's
so
his.
He doesn't.
Right.
Not that he doesn't want to give credit.
Right.
But it's just authentic swing.
Yeah, this is just how I do.
Exactly.
This is just how I swing. This is just how I throw. Right.
But even Tiger has a coach.
Yeah, he certainly does. Yeah.
So his coach can see him turn his hand over.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Tiger can't see it because he's not looking at his hands. He's looking at the ball.
Right. If you're looking at your hands, you're in the ditch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
And if you're not listening to your coach, you're probably in the ditch too.
Yeah. Yep.
What I'm so many changes, but the thing I appreciate about your career and when I listen to you and I listen to you talk on the clubhouse calls, shout out to all the guys on the calls. Right?
Oh, it's amazing what goes on in there.
It's the best.
It really is. Right.
I'll tell you how I got involved in this, and it pissed me off. So I invited T.I. Thomas onto to my show, right? And we've got some mutual friends because he was an E-League guy and I was an E-League guy, but we never knew each other. It was like two ships passing the night. I think he came on right after I left, something like that. Very similar, very close. And so I know of him, and we friends of friends. And so I've watched him, and we talked, and I say, man, I'd love to get on and talk about your experiences, da-da-da. And he said, man, I'd love to do it. So he books me. If you look at my calendar, if you go to, DM me for an invite, and I go sit in my calendar, there's 7 a.m. spots. I'm flexible. There's guys up early in the morning. There's guys who want to do late, and then we're going to do in person if we can. And then if we got to do Sunday or Tuesday when I'm off, that's when I shoot.
Sure.
And I got a business to run. And so he books this thing at 7 a.m. And my wife, she says, she goes, babe, look, she goes, just this happens every early morning booking. Everybody cancels on you. She said, just double confirm. And I said, I just confirmed with him this morning or something. It's like, 10, 12 hours, 24-hour confirmation, whatever,
Yeah. She's
my sales manager going, did you confirm your appointment? Did you confirm your appointment? Confirmed appointment show on a 2-to-1 ratio. She doesn't even know what she's doing. She's my sales manager.
Should I confirm it for you?
Should I confirm it for you?
Those third-party confirmations are worth their weight in gold.
They are worth their weight in gold.
I'd rather, you set up an appointment with your doctor.
Yeah.
Who confirms it, the doctor or a receptionist?
The receptionist.
Why do you think that is?
I've honestly never thought about it.
Well, we think, the doctor's too busy, which he should be, and he probably is.
Right.
But when the nurse, if the doctor calls to confirm, you're going to say, by the way, doc, what about this, that, and the other thing?
Yeah.
You don't have time for that.
Right.
You ask her, and what's she going to say?
Right. I have to refer you to the doctor.
Yeah, when you see the doctor, he'll be able to answer that question.
You see the doctor.
And that's why when I run BDCs, I think third-party confirmation, not by a manager, but just by another rep.
Yeah, I never loved the manager confirmation. I think it's fine if that's what you got, but I think it's just a stupid thing. It puts you in position of loss and of what's the word I'm looking for? You get what I'm saying. It puts you in a spot already. Well, if you're the manager, then why do I need to talk to Tony? Can I just come see you when I come in? And by the way, how much is the car? What's the best?
Why don't I just get the manager to detail the cars too? Right? I mean, he's got a job, he's got a responsibility.
Right.
But that third-party confirmation in a BDC,
right.
if you're confirming my appointment and they ask you a question, I don't want you to answer it. What I want you to say is, boy, that's a great question. I'll let Tony know. So when he gets here, he has the answer. Is that okay? Or did you need to know the answer right away?
Right.
No, that's okay. I'll ask him when I get there. No, I need to know it right away. Okay, I'll let him know. He'll call you back.
That's right.
Right?
Right.
But it's one of the same reasons the doctors have the receptionist make the confirmation call is so the doctor doesn't have to get in the pickle of answering those questions.
No,
right? Hey, doc, I got this thing growing under my arm. He don't want that conversation. He wants you in his office.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah, no, brilliant. Yeah, that's very smart.
Right.
So I got a 7 a.m. appointment with Tommy, right? I I get up here, man. I'm since I've been on MDCS, I'm up way earlier because now I have a reason to be up earlier, right? I got something I want to hear. I got someplace I want to be, right?
Right.
My dealership opens late and we close early. That's why I work there. No, we open at 10, we close at 7. It's a great place to work.
Wow.
It's a great place to work.
Yeah.
And so shout out to Amir for the store. But anyway, so. I get up, I come here, and there's some setup process that all this stuff I do that I set up, and it's 7:01, 7:02, 7:04, 7:09. I give Tommy a text. He says, "Hey, bud, man, I just got back from traveling, brother. I didn't forget, but I'm worn out, you know." And he goes, "Plus, I'm on my other call. You want to hop on that?" And I'm like, do I want to hop on your call after coming here at 5? Yeah, I was like, this son of a bitch.
You're like, bite your lip and say, "Yeah, I'm there. I'm there."
So he sends me the invite, and I'm like, why am I doing that? I go, and I sat here in this chair right here with a cup of coffee in my hand, stewing on it for a second. And I go, well, what? I mean, I'm already here. I might as well get on the call. So I get on the call, and it was just like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
So I try to live in gratitude, right? I try not to be angry for more than about 20 seconds at anything anymore. And I'm walking, I'm driving back to the store, and Ashley calls me and she goes, "Hey, how's your show?" You know, and I go, "It didn't happen." And she goes, "It didn't happen?" I said, "No." She goes, "You got stood up." And I go, she goes, "You should confirm your appointment." You know, I'm like, I said, I get it. I understand it. I've been told that before. Yeah. And she said, "Well, you sound pretty chipper about it." You know, and I said, "Well, I got on this great thing, right? I got on this awesome call."
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
And so I was totally stoked, and I've been on it, most days, every day since.
Yeah. Don't worry, we'll hold it against you.
I appreciate it. Yeah.
No, it's a good show.
No, it's awesome, man. It's
great people on there.
So much knowledge,
helping each other out.
Yeah.
The industry has changed in that regard. You know, we used to all think we had our secrets, and there were no secrets, right? Because of turnover and people moving between stores. But now it's a free flow of information.
For sure. And it's great.
So it is great. There's some great people on there.
You know, the one thing that I think we're learning as people with the internet that I really appreciate is, and I learned this from podcasting, from watching podcasts and like just sort of the podcast community. And you're in this space, you get it. It's like, hey, why not even just to feed one another, but it's like, hey, I'd love to have you on my show and talk about what you talk about on your show. And then that thing gets kind of, vice versa. And then we have some crossbreeding. And, hey, some of your audience cares a little about what I'm talking about. And some of my audience cares. And this whole community grows. And it's a feast or a famine kind of mentality, it seemed like, for so long in so many industries. And I think we're learning from so many of these things like Clubhouse, podcasting, just information, be it the internet in general. Right? Like if we all share information, there's more information. That's better for everybody. We're making less losers, and that's a better idea.
You do not have to fail for me to be successful.
Right. Ooh.
In fact, I will be more successful if you're more successful. Think about that.
I do a lot.
Because we go into this game thinking the way to get ahead is to get ahead.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's definitely not. Glenn and I were talking a lot about that today, just about sharing, of yourselves and being authentic and being able to help one another and being there for the other person and all these kind of things. All it does is elevate you and them, and it elevates everything.
Right.
As a whole.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's been good, and
it's way
I look
better.
forward to continuing. I don't know where Clubhouse is going.
Yeah.
If you're not, they actually have a Clubhouse HQ.
Okay.
Where people that work for the company come on and they have their own room, and you can go in and ask questions.
That's
twice a week. So if you're not part of that, it can be helpful. After having been in the last few, I'm hopeful that they're going to right the ship, and instead of they've been.
There's I haven't paid attention to any of the company.
Yeah, they've been losing people over to Twitter Spaces a little bit there, and they've got to figure out how to monetize it and the like, and But
I guess that is a problem. There's no.
When it came out, I mean, and I still think it's there. But I think they're in a bit of a dip. But, it's amazing you can get people all over the world to tune in and have conversations about common interest.
Yeah.
In real time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, in that room, we've got people from all over the place.
Literally.
Right.
Literally. Annette, everyone.
Yeah.
you
If
know?
I wouldn't have met you.
Correct. I mean, I'm
didn't-
super
no,
grateful.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wouldn't have met Glenn if I hadn't met you. You know,
Yeah.
all these things. It's amazing, man. And
Yeah.
so, getting to connect with Alex and Ben Stock and
Well, the
like-
whole conference we were just at.
exactly.
2 days of just phenomenal speakers.
Phenomenal.
And they were not, the vast majority of them were not automotive. I think you,
Right.
me, maybe one other, Glenn.
Right.
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 But, and that's all because of Clubhouse.
And I enjoyed that too, because it didn't seem like I've been to a lot of these things. I know you've been to a lot of them too, but so often, so many times in a lot of these things, it wasn't the case here. But it's snake oil salesmen that have figured out a good 15 minutes and then about my book, and the book doesn't have anything that's more valuable than the 15 minutes they just put into it. Probably it has less value than that. ChatGPT wrote it or whatever. But there was what was his name? Adam Smith, the big guy, the special force guy. That guy's a rock star,
amazing.
right? Yeah,
He's
rock
not letting
star.
you off the hook, is he?
No.
I
and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Hold you
And
accountable to
And
the
I know the
conversation.
people that were there that he, You're not getting off the hook. How many pounds? No, not. There's no about here.
Right. Let's
there's
get
no
to
range.
what this means. Right.
Yeah.
So for those of y'all who don't listen, there's a speaker, Adam Smith. I think his name. Look him up.
Green Beret.
Yeah, Green
former
Beret, Special
Green Beret.
Forces, gigantic human being.
Yeah. Monster of a man. His arms were bigger than my legs.
Yeah, he's a big boy.
Yeah.
And talking about accountability, accuracy, metrics in your own life, whether it's facts, not feelings, right? And he was going around the room talking to people, and he hit up a young lady who's a fitness instructor, or not instructor, but fitness influencer.
Yeah.
So her whole business, her whole life is get fit, stay fit, be healthy, this kind of idea.
Right.
And he says, "Well, great. Where are you at in your goals? Like where are you at on your goal?
Your fitness goal."
Yeah. And she's like, "I'm not there right now." And he's like, "That's a feeling." Right,
Yeah.
because that's not an accurate measurement. Like, what do you weigh?
In front of 40 other people.
40, 50 other people, yeah.
Right.
And she's like,
I'm a woman. You can't ask that question.
Yeah.
Right?
And
I
he's
mean,
like,
that's what the ladies.
That's what
were
the ladies
thinking.
said.
He's
He
like,
said,
I don't care.
yeah, doesn't matter to
Don't care.
me if you're a woman or not.
You're
This is
offended.
business. We're here.
It's not about your feelings.
What do you weigh?
What's
and,
the facts?
And she put that out there. And
In front of the crowd, you could see her struggling with answering
for
that.
sure.
And she came up with 3 or 4 around the, beat around the bush answers, didn't she?
Right.
It was fantastic.
It was fantastic. It's
Not
the gotcha moment of her.
No.
But the coming to the truth and the coming to the reality of, hey, this is important to know to own the reality of the metric. Right?
Well, and I felt her pain.
Yeah,
Not
100%.
her pain, but my pain
Right.
because of the situation. How about the young man that shared his financial situation?
Yeah.
I mean, he was a young guy, right?
Yeah.
But, I mean, for him to stand up and finally just spit a number.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I cash out to him too, by the way.
Did you?
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
Nice.
He sent me a thank you today. So,
Yeah.
not a ton of money, but I liked the idea that he put some action into that and created some actionable action for that young man.
Yeah, thank you for doing that.
100%. Yeah. I went up to Adam after the thing. I told him, I said, hey, listen, I said, I don't know if you need it or not. I'm just, going off what I saw. I said, but I'm a motivational coach, and if you need any help getting motivated in the mornings or just kind of getting your life together, I said, let me know.
Yeah.
And he kind of looked over at me and he started to smile. Yeah, I'd smile at him. I said, great job, man. And he laughed. He's like, you had me for a minute. You really had me. And I was like,
So he spoke on day one too.
Oh, okay.
He did got, I don't know if you saw the shirt. He's got this military, his camouflage shirt.
Okay.
At the end of it, he gets done speaking. I said, hey, Adam, I have a question for you. He says, what is it? I said, do they make those shirts in boy sizes? Because that guy literally doubled.
He's
easily.
double the size of you for sure.
Yeah,
he's a giant human being. Yeah.
But so proud to have this service and what he did. They make those in boy sizes.
Yeah. Let's get into this product that we were talking about earlier. Let's just dive into that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, it all boils down to video.
Yeah.
Do you think video is going to be more or less prevalent in the future?
I think it's the only future.
Should ask question, right?
Yeah, it's the only future.
I talk to salespeople and in sales meetings, hey, how many of you guys have watched a video today? Show of hands.
Yeah.
90%. The guy that does, you haven't watched no video today at all? No, I haven't watched any on my phone. Did you watch the news this morning while you're getting ready? Well, I watch that Well, that's a video, right?
Turns out that's also a video.
Turns out it's a video. So, you know, our industry is coming along nicely in the video segment. Now, I've been in video for more than a dozen years. Automotive videos, walk around videos, video advertising, video marketing, blah, 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 right down the line.
Yeah.
And dealers have done a nice job of getting photos, right? It took a long time. There's still some dealers, you go on their sites and they've got 3 photos on each car, as though another 2 would take another hour, right? Right. But they're all trying to get it done at some level, so hats off to that, right? But they've turned it into this process that may be either person-dependent or person-dependent, right? Meaning one person knows the whole thing, and that person wakes up dead tomorrow. I use that kindly, but, you know, when you're building these house of cards processes, because I got a photo guy, and that guy's the guy that knows everything about it, it's a problem.
Right.
So we, about a dozen years ago, a friend of mine came to me and said, hey, I've got this app idea. Now, today, app means nothing because everybody's got an app.
Right.
But 10 years ago, that was kind of a big deal.
Yeah, no, it was a big deal.
This is going back to iPhone 3, right? So apps weren't that sophisticated back then.
No. I remember when people were bringing apps on, you know, and it was like, wait, you could build an app? Like, how does that, you know what I mean? It was like
what does that stand for?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, is an acronym? No.
Yeah, no.
Short
it's
for application,
right? Yeah. Right. Then it was just, I remember because I had do you remember the Evo? Mm-hmm. So I had an Evo, right? I didn't go iPhone. I'm a general contrarian. Yeah. You know, it's like, hey, we all need to listen to rock music. I'm like, what? Where's the country? You know, I just don't want to do what everybody's doing.
Right.
And so everybody was going nuts over the iPhone, and the Evo was like the answer to that. And that was an amazing phone.
Right.
But it was Android, and this is really when I switched over to Apple very shortly after that, because I remember I was running a little store. I had a little piece of this store in Austin that our lease ran out, and they quadrupled our rent, and then our partnership fell apart or whatever just as a result of some of it.
Yeah.
But it became a P. Terry's, which is it's a fast food restaurant now, and that's why they tripled our rent, because they wanted to put the thing there.
Yeah.
And so, anyways, bottom line is, and he was like, "Hey, look," and I don't remember what the thing was for. I have no idea what the vendor was, but it was a thing that we needed to do. And it was like a pain in the neck on the computer, but they had an app. It's like, you could do it right on your phone. It was a thing we needed to do on our phone, you know?
Right.
And I was like, oh, yeah, I need that. And he was like, oh, okay, cool. Let me see your iPhone. And I was like, oh, no, I have an Android phone. And he was like, oh. No. He's like, we don't have an Android app. And I was like, and then the guy looked at me and he goes, look, I get it. You know, you think you want to root your phone or whatever he said, but people in business are going to be using Apple phones. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I kind of looked around and I was like, yeah, everybody sure enough has an Apple phone. So,
you know, I'm not an Apple guy.
Yeah.
But I have the ecosystem.
Right.
Right. I'm not like fanboy.
Yeah, right.
You know, first time I seen people sleep in front of Apple Store, I thought they were homeless. Right.
They probably are after buying their products.
They just work. And I don't have time for shit that doesn't work.
That's it.
I just don't.
They
right.
Just work.
So I'm not. I mean, I've got all Apple stuff because it works.
It works.
And so we built a platform a dozen years ago.
Okay.
And the idea was to help dealers capture their photos of their cars. Yeah. Which nowadays everybody's like, oh, yeah, everybody's got one, you know.
Yeah.
You know, every website company. I mean, there's all kinds of that stuff.
It's easy to capture
but this
photos,
is
right?
a dozen years ago, right? But what we really were looking to do is capture full motion video for their website, inventory, VIN specific, right? And to do it quickly without touching a computer.
Okay.
Now go back 10 years ago, iPhone 3, what kind of connectivity? You know, we were still on 3G.
Yeah.
What was it called, 3G back then?
I don't even know if it was that.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
3G.
Yeah. So it was really hard to load stuff. I mean, you needed really good connectivity, you know, small 240 resolution videos back then, so you can get them up to load. So we went ahead and worked for now better than a dozen years on our app, and it allows dealers to capture all their photos, capture full motion videos, full walk around video, 360s if you want, you know, touch and spin them around, zoom and go inside and all that stuff. Never touch a computer. 8 minutes. Yeah, no, it's a cool product. Done.
Tell me how to find it real quick.
Autosonvideo.com. Autosonvideo.com. If you don't like the website, blame it on me. Call me and I'll try to fix it.
What's a website?
Yeah, what's a website? Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Talking back.
What's that wire doing over there? Don't worry about it.
Yeah, what's that wire? Don't worry about it.
That's it. Yeah, autosonvideo.com. I'm going to throw it up on the screen. Here, I'll do this. Cut back over. This thing times itself out. It's really annoying. I need to solve for that. But we'll cut over. So audios on video, vehicle video solutions. What should I show everybody here? Is there
there's a number of apps. So if you scroll down, you'll see there's the inventory piece. There's a follow-up piece for sales follow-up. There's service drive. Excuse me while I put my eyes on it.
Yeah, that's all right.
So on the left-hand side there, you'll see if you click into inventory videos there, drill into that page. So this is where you can learn more about how we do syndication, where we can put your videos, where we can put your photos, anywhere that you're currently merchandising your inventory. So there's a little video. This is one I created myself. So that's me popping out of the truck with my drone up there, just to give a quick overview of how it works. So literally jump out, grab your smartphone. We get, of course, a data feed. All your inventory's on here. You run around, capture the video. That's what I'm doing here. So the software does transition, so you don't have to do it in one fell swoop.
Right.
You can do the exterior, you can do driver's side, and it
automatically so that's automatic, which is what's cool about that, because I mean, we want those interrupters first of all to keep our attention, right? That's what people don't realize, is that you need those interrupters. It's not just a pretty smooth thing. Like our brains are programmed, especially start, faster and faster. Stop, start, pull you back in. Right. We'll go back over to it. Yeah.
So that's what I'm doing here. I'm capturing the exterior videos. Now, after I do the videos, then we take the photos all in the same app, so you're not using multiple apps. And we could set it up so you can do a logical workflow. So you go clockwise around the vehicle because it makes sense. And then we syndicate the photos in whatever order you want. Yeah. So you literally you could start at the back of the truck, and it'll show up on the front of the front.
Awesome.
Yeah, so just makes it super easy to use.
So just for the record, like you and I have gone over this and we went through it for quite a while. And it wasn't, the purpose of this podcast was not a demo of this product, but I do think it's a very cool product that I'm probably going to sign up for. I think the ease of it. I think the salesperson. What's that tool called for the response?
Quick video or video lead responder?
Video lead responder was super cool, super easy to use. I'm a video guy. Yeah. I mean, I send them out almost every customer. I don't even text message people, as a matter of fact. Like when I get an internet lead with a phone number and I can't get a hold of you, or even if I do get a hold of you, I'm super quick. It's just, hit the message. I make the call. Boom, boom. And then I hit the, recents, and I go straight to text, and I do the thing. Hey, it's Steve. Welcome to blah, 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 blah. Super nice to meet you. Listen, if you can't get a hold of me on the phone, I'm easy to talk to. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
Right.
Bye. And then I never even, don't hit videos, hold the red button down, take it off, hit send, it's gone. And now those people know who I am.
Right.
They know what I look like. They know that I smile. They know that I'm nice. And I get a ton of callbacks, right?
You put your face in the video. Absolutely.
We were talking about this earlier. So you did for NADA, how many years ago was this where you did the?
I want to say 16, 17, 18, somewhere in there. For about 3 years,
I bet the data hadn't changed.
Yeah, no. That's why I stopped doing it, because it just didn't. And what we really proved out over that period of time is speaking directly to the customer. If you can put your face, your voice there, that's your highest return on your investment of video time. Right. If that's not possible, our app allows you to do a default or a generic version of that. Yeah. Right. Or you can just send out the video itself and say nothing. Right. But I will tell you, you'll get 3 times the response if you put your face in front of the video. So when you did this, I want to harken back. I love using the word harken, just for the record. That's a great word.
Love harken back.
What does it mean?
Like to just call back, I would say.
Think backwards.
Is that fair? Is that what it is? Think backwards?
I have no idea.
I think it's just to go backwards in conversation. But I've been on a debate with with Ashley. I hearkened an elf around Christmas time, and it's not really a word, but I like to give her a hard time. I like to use words that don't, because she's very grammatically correct and things, and so I'll mix up words and I'll say words with the wrong emphasis, emphasis, right? The wrong syllable on the right emphasis, and it just wears her out, right? So we're walking down the road. And I see this. It's Christmas time. We're going to have some dinner or lunch. Just walking down the road to go get some lunch, and I see this elf coming out of her house, walking to her car, and I screamed, An elf, full elf gear,
buddy.
Just a woman in a full blown elf costume, carrying boxes, and I yelled. She's about 10 ounces down, 5 ounces down. I yelled, "Hey, you elf! I demand a gift from you. It is my it's my culture to demand a gift from you." Some kind of nonsense. And she turns around and she looks at me. She goes, "You talking to me?" I said, "You are the only elf on this street." And she's like, "I guess I am." And so I walked over to her, and Ashley's like, "Leave that lady alone. Just leave her alone." And I go, "No, I'm gonna talk to this elf. She's in an elf costume in the middle of a street.
She asked for it.
I have every right to discuss what she's doing in public." And so I'm sitting there visiting with her, and I said, "Okay, so what's my gift?" And she goes, "Well, oddly enough, my boyfriend owns a bar down the road, and we are outfitting the bar with the Christmas stuff for the Christmas season." And that's why she was dressed up like that. And she had a whole trunk full of elf gear and just Christmas stuff. And she gave me this little box about this big, and it was just like a little desk Christmas tree, and it was awesome. And I kept it on my desk all year. So, but I told her, I said I hearkened an elf, and that was the point of it. She goes, "That is not what that is." I was like, "Oh no, it worked."
Yeah,
I clearly hearkened her, and she's like, "That is not how that word works."
Yeah.
I'm like, "I don't know, I prove it."
Well,
so,
hark the herald angels.
yeah, hark. That's what everybody says, right? Yeah. So
just wondering who this hark person is.
why is he in all my conversations? All right, let's go back to the subject. So where were we?
We
Do
were
you
talking
remember?
about video.
Yeah.
So
Sure though.
it allows dealers, number one, to merchandise their inventory.
Yeah.
8 minutes, no computer, an 11-year-old can do it. It's not person dependent. Right. It's it's an app.
Yeah.
You can take a video of your cat running around your house. You can use this app.
Yeah.
Never touch a computer. We have dealers at the dealer I work for.
Yeah.
I mean, he does 20 cars a day.
Yeah.
Right. 30 photos, full motion video, in, out, done.
It's pretty fast.
Yeah. And we were talking earlier about your store.
Yeah.
Right. One of the questions I ask you is, how often does the guy come by? And you said twice a week.
Right.
Right. Well, why not every day?
Right.
And you said, well, I don't know that I have that many cars. But if you had a car today and he's not coming for 2 days, you got 2 days without that car being merchandised.
No, 100%.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
And that's what I think was so interesting, because we're spending too much money on a company that does this for us. And I'm not unpleased with their work, right? That you've seen it. They do pretty good work.
they do
Our
nice
photos
work.
are good.
Right.
But they're not doing anything special. I mean, I'm not like in a green room where I need a thing. There's none of the things that they're doing that aren't
7
special.
minutes, it's done.
We
You
just
got
don't
it
have a
done,
process
it's on your
that'll
site.
solve it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, who's parking it on the lot?
But that's what I'm saying. I mean,
That's
at this
the guy.
point, we use them because we don't have a process, right, that solves it. So
But when they get to your
tool
store,
solves it.
they pull it out of a parking space, right?
for sure.
Somebody put it there.
Right.
That's the guy that can do this for you.
Right.
Right. Or gal.
Right.
I mean, my 11-year-old son did it 4 years ago. 16 now, he can do it.
I have a feeling your 11-year-old son's fairly tech savvy. Just
Well, they all are.
I know.
Right? I mean, they all are.
Right.
Here. And that's the key. I mean, if you remember Higher Gear from years ago, they built that thing for a third grader, right?
Literally.
Literally. That's exactly how they did it. And so if you're building an app, you better hand it to a 10-year-old, an 8-year-old, right?
And see if
they can figure it out.
Yeah.
See, yeah. Otherwise, you haven't built it properly.
Because Krusty the car dog that's been there for 22 years.
He barely got out of third grade.
That's what I'm saying. Right.
Right.
He was wearing Sanzabelle pants not just 15, 20 years ago.
Right, and a Rolex. Right?
It's a Folex.
It would have been a Folex.
You want to know what's funny?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to show you this. So I haven't.
Oh.
But I'll
Don't
tell you what's
don't tell me it's a fake.
No,
I don't want to know that.
Pretty good knockoff for a fake.
Yeah, everybody does that.
Well,
I bought this off of Alibaba.
So
why'd you buy it? And
I
tell
did.
me?
I
What's
did
the
not.
point?
I did not buy this.
Oh, it's a winner, huh?
Yeah, somebody gave me this, and you can see there's still plastic on the face.
Yeah,
right. I have never worn it.
Yeah.
It's been sitting in that box for a long time, and I just thought, well, that's very nice of you. Thank you very much for the kind gift, And it was very nice of somebody, but I'm like, I love you that you love me enough to buy me a watch, but I would have much rather had a Swatch watch.
Oh, yeah.
I'll take a real Swatch watch over that Rolex.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting. So it's kind of funny.
I don't
kind of
even
forgot
have
it was even in there.
my arm's not even strong enough to hold this thing up. I don't know why anybody.
It's made out of titanium.
I have no idea.
So one of the first things I saw about this app was one of the first things that we looked at, and I nailed it. And I'm not giving myself so much credit here, but I don't know that I would have nailed it 10 months ago before I really got into playing with some of these toys that I have here now, right? But one of the first things that you asked me, you said, "What's the first thing you notice about it?" And I said, "It's stable." You know, I said, I think I said it's still, but you said it's stabilization. It's built into the app. And so one thing that I do hate is when you see the bouncing on
nauseous.
the videos.
Yeah.
It's annoying.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's like, why even have that? I mean, when I bought several gimbals and selfie sticks and all kinds of
I
things.
got a pile of them.
Oh, like I got a $400 gimbal over here for my iPhone. You know what I mean? It's I don't use it. It's a pain. It's got to be charged. It's got to be this. I'm not a cameraman. I don't really know how to use that gimbal. I mean,
It takes you have to practice those things.
it's a bit of an art, yeah. And then the one like the DJI has an app, and you got to do this, and I got to get on my phone to do it. And it's like, it's a thing. It's not an 8-second deal to get on, turn on, have stabilization, quick in, quick out.
No,
Your product's cool, man. I'll give you that.
It's built into the app.
Yeah.
Right. When I'm doing these videos, I'm not taking any special bend my knee, heel toe walk. I'm just walking around the unit. You know.
And it's
Walk
fast.
around it, yeah.
It's fast. It's
I
efficient.
say 8 minutes and away you go.
Yeah.
Right? And
That's
you
pretty
move on
solid.
with your day, right?
And so now we've got the video, right? Walk us through full service here. So now we've got the video. Customer sees it on the website. You can put this on any website, right?
Any website.
Any website.
Auto
Dealer
Trader,
Fire,
Car Shop,
Auto
Dealer
Trader,
Fire,
anybody, doesn't
whatever.
matter. You
Yeah,
can put it
yeah.
on anybody's website. You
we
don't
have
need any special
some
permissions.
real-time implementations. We have 4 or 5 different ways we can do that. We can set it up for the overnight. We can set it up for you hit export on the phone. You go back and refresh your computer. It's on your website.
That
We
was what
talked
was
to
cool
that
for
earlier.
me. So if
Yeah.
you're in an independent space, right, and you have a small number of cars, that's sort of where my brain is now because I'm out of the franchise. So I'm going to put it into what's relevant to me. But what's cool, I think, and maybe it's annoying, maybe it's not. I mean, it'd be a game to play with, but I get a lot of customers. I sell a lot of cars, a lot of trucks out of state, you know, because they don't have them. We do. Big diesels and stuff. People want them. And they'll say, like, hey, I want to hear the motor running, or can you show me the tire size, or can you do whatever? And there's something about the product that makes it neat to me. And I go, hey, I tell you what, and this is just in my brain, I'm playing this out, but I tell you what, go right back to the same website in 6 minutes, and I'll have that on there for you.
Yeah.
And they go back, and I've changed the website so they can see that in live real time. They're like, whoa, this guy changed his website. It's like just another level of service because
It's
I want
those
that
little
attention.
wow factors that make the difference, right?
I want to be
And
different
nobody's
if I'm
doing
in a dealer,
Right.
I'm different than this guy,
Right, right,
but I'm not, but I am.
right.
Right. I mean, the reality of it is this guy's got 92 trucks too.
Yeah.
Right. And he's got probably something pretty similar to me.
Yeah,
Might
you
even have a
need to-
cheaper one.
You really need to have a video first strategy,
100%.
right? On every one of your responses. I don't care if it's a
yeah.
phone up. If you got them on the phone, hey, let me send you a quick video on that while they're on the phone. You're following up on an e-lead.
Yep.
You know, 9 out of 10 times you pick up the phone to call somebody, what happens? Voicemail.
Voicemail, yeah.
9 out of 10 times.
yeah.
Now, what if your voicemail goes from, hey, this is Tony over here at the dealership. Pretty please call me back. If you even think about calling me back, please, please, please.
Right.
Click.
Right.
To, hey, it's Tony at the dealership. I just emailed you a video. Go ahead and watch that video. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, give me a call back.
Right.
Otherwise, I'll reach out to you later today. Now they go to their email because you told them there's an email video on the
Right.
car they're interested. They
There's
go
something
there, right?
there for them.
Right. Yeah. Guess what? They open the email. I get a text.
Yeah.
Our software gives a text to me. Now I know they're engaged. Now
Right.
what am I going to do?
Now I
Pick
got a
up the
reason to
phone,
call.
Right.
Right.
Hey, by the way, I forgot to tell you something. Oh, you picked up. Let's talk about the video.
Right.
Number one reason salespeople don't follow up, they don't know what to say,
Okay.
right? They don't. They might know on day one, right? They
Right.
were here yesterday, looked at, what do they say on day 5,
Right.
right? How about you start sending some videos out that said, hey, I saw a vehicle on the lot today. I thought it'd be a great alternative for you, right? The number one reason they don't buy your car, price,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
5 days later, what are you going to say to them? I can do better on the price. You've
Right.
said that 5 days in a row, right?
Right.
Now, how about you put a video on an alternative vehicle, low and away?
Right.
Hey, there's another vehicle I thought you might be interested in,
Right.
right? That's a very powerful phrase. I was thinking about you today, Stephen, when I walked the lot and I saw this vehicle. I thought you might like it.
I agree.
Check your email. I sent you a video on it,
Yeah.
you know?
No, I mean,
I was
I
thinking
get it.
about you today.
Right.
I saw this vehicle I thought you might like.
Right. And you were thinking about them today. It's all true.
Otherwise, you wouldn't have sent it to them.
Right. I wouldn't have called you if I wasn't
Right,
thinking
this
about
isn't
you.
B shit,
Right.
you know, right? It's-
I didn't not think about you to call you. I thought
Right,
about you. I called
right.
you. Right.
So that's another use of the app. Is
And you're
that
also bringing in,
alternative vehicle.
yeah, agreed. I didn't mean to interrupt, but you're also bringing in the needs of people. You're showing them that you heard what they wrote to you in an email or said to you on a call or sent you in a message, right?
Right.
By the alternative vehicle. Might not be the same vehicle, might be something different. Hey, I know that you said you're looking for a whatever, but here's a something that's close to that, right?
Well, here's the deal. If they don't buy your car, are they going to take up horseback riding?
No.
Hell no. They're buying a car,
Right.
period.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
If they don't buy the car they looked at today, you better be prepared for the car they're going to buy tomorrow.
For sure.
And chances are you have it. So make them aware of it. Because I haven't seen any horses on the highways here around here, and this is Dallas, Texas.
That's right.
There are no horses running up and down these highways.
The horses are in Fort Worth at the stockyards, just down the road.
Yeah,
But
that's a saunter. I've been
It
there.
is a
I've
saunter
seen the
down.
saunter.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
not
yeah.
a cattle drive. That's
Well done, well done.
Those things were bored.
They are. I'll tell you, what's funny is a little off subject, but something made me think about it today. So one of the guys that works at the store was working a customer early this morning. I had some things going on. I had another customer, and I was busy, and I looked over and looked like things were going pretty swimmingly, right? I mean, everybody's smiling, laughing, giggling, whatever. They were working a deal standing in the lobby, which is right next to my office. My office is right up front, so I can see everything. And I could kind of hear it go south, but I had to finish doing what I was doing, or else my thing would have gone south. So then by the time I get out there, I'm enjoying the chaos. They're walking to the car. Matter of fact, mom's in the car, dad's getting in it, right?
Oh, they're done.
They're done, right? And so I'm like, "What's going on here?" And they're like, they don't. What did he say? Oh, he didn't like the. There's a couple of dings right on this Cadillac. I've seen this Cadillac. There's not any dings on this Cadillac. It's a nice Cadillac.
Right.
It's a 19. It's a nice truck. So I run out there and I'm like, hey, what's going on? Da, 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 and I'm standing on the window doing the whole, please come back into my dealership thing. Yeah, for sure. Right. Yeah. Trying to re-enthusiasm them. It's like a play on Curb Your Enthusiasm. Their enthusiasm is curbed. I'm trying to curb them.
Get it off the curb.
Yeah. I'm trying to uncurb your unenthusiasm. Yeah. And so, I'm sitting there talking to him and the guy's playing along a little bit. He's a little more docile. Mama runs the show. Mama's got a dog in her lap. She's pulling out her iPad and she puts it up on her knees and pulls up the internet. I'm talking to him and she's saying, well, this, blah, 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 the ding. And I hit her with a couple things. I'm doing this 30 years, a couple things I know for sure. If you're leaving, we did something wrong. So I'd love to know what that is just so we can get better in the future, even if it doesn't work with you today.
Yeah, me the money machine.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So we're talking chit-chatting, and she says, she's like, well, I don't know. I think maybe we'll just chew on it for a little while and think, and maybe just, maybe we'll shop. Maybe we won't. We're probably not going to shop. Honey, let's go. Maybe we'll go get something to eat. And I'm watching this lady lie to me.
Yeah.
She's got her iPad out with her scroll pen.
She's touching it with her nose.
And she's just sitting there on cars.com flicking through the Escalades that are available in a 200-mile radius. And I'm like, sweetheart, if you think I think you're going to dinner for 1 second, you know what I mean? I said, listen, I hope you greatly enjoy your next purchase. And if something doesn't work out for you out there, just know that we're happy to help you, And so she says, okay, well, thank you. And I'm like, yeah. So, I mean, and I looked, the guy said, well, what happened? I said, well, they're going down somewhere to buy a car. I mean, that's what's happening. They're going to go buy a car. Right. They're leaving here to buy a car. They're not thinking of, they're going to buy a car. So.
Yeah, the TO is not to say goodbye.
No,
guys.
It's not. No,
they're not 1 foot out the door, and you want to do TO.
Yeah, the flying TO. Flying TO.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I made a living on a flying TO. They called me half deal, few seal my entire career.
Yeah, we used to have that deal when I sold in California. You could get a half a deal if you bumped them and closed it for $100. Yeah, so guess where I was on Saturday afternoon. I stood right by the tower.
Oh yeah,
right by the tower.
Yep.
I'll take this turn.
Yeah, then they'll call you House Mouse. I get those deals out of the tower.
I did not care.
Oh, I never did either.
Did not care.
My banker never one time called me a House Mouse.
No. Yeah. I did not care.
My accountant never said, you're spending too much time up at the tower.
I would wave them back from the stoplight. Come on back in. I got no problem.
Absolutely,
that, right?
Absolutely.
They want to buy a car.
That's why they're there.
They do not want to go start over.
No, and they came to your store, especially if you're a franchise, if you're A-Flow and you're at Bravo, they came to Bravo because they liked Bravo.
Right.
They're going to buy from Huffington Ford because they didn't get what they needed at Bravo.
That takes us all the way back to the merchandising.
Right.
Your merchandising has to be done so well that they're coming to buy a car, not to think about buying a car.
Right.
All the thinking about needs to be done before they get there.
Correct.
Right? And if you've properly merchandised that piece of inventory and you're in lockstep with your salespeople understanding how to use that pre-merchandised inventory to move them from here to here,
right,
so that they get behind the wheel, they do this, and then they're doing this in their new car.
Right.
It all starts with having merchandising and a website that performs, because they're all there. They have been for years.
Yeah.
And you're foolish if you think you're going to pull the wool over their eyes. So you might as well be transparent on your site.
Agreed. Yeah.
From the word go.
From the word go. It not only is it beneficial for you, it's just a better way to do business, right? It's
Absolutely.
helpful. It's easier. It's faster. Listen, you're the e-commerce manager.
If I could wrap it up and push it through the modem, I would.
Yeah.
Don't worry about the wire.
I do it all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, essentially,
Yeah.
I can't tell you in a month, I guarantee you, we do 20, 25 essentially push through the modem. I mean,
Yeah.
I sell, I can't tell you how many trucks we sell. I personally sell on sheer excitement, motivation, just the sales process I have with folks and the excitement, right?
Well, quick and easy too.
It's quick,
Right.
and that's part of the pitch.
Right.
Hey, listen, I'll make this so quick and easy for you. I'll have it delivered to your front door within a week.
Yep.
You know, listen, this truck might not last long, and none of that is a lie. I mean, if I've got a 2021 diesel with 56,000 miles on it, you're nuts if you think I'm going to have that tomorrow.
Right.
I mean, you're just nuts.
That
It's
car's
just-
not sitting around.
It's not going to sit around, and that's the inventory that we purchase, right?
Right,
And so
right.
I tell people, I say, look, we buy things we like, things we think that are cool, things that we'll put in our family, and then we try to price them at 98% of market value so that you can be quick and easy, and I can send it to your front door.
Right.
What's your exact address? And I'll tell you how much the shipping will cost. Now, let me go ahead and get a deposit from you, and we'll get the credit app sent to you after. I mean, and it's over.
I'm not saying, and I don't think you are,
Yeah.
that that's 100%. That's ever going to be 100%,
No,
right?
no,
But what if you took the approach that you're moving toward that 100% and you treat everybody that way? You'll still
Right.
deliver them. They'll still come in and buy cars from you.
Right.
It's not, because you've been overly transparent, Mr. Dealer, I'm not coming to your dealership.
Correct.
Right.
Exactly.
You've made it way too easy for me.
Yeah,
I'm not
this is
coming
too
in.
simple.
Yeah,
There is the one guy.
Yeah,
right. There's always the one guy
who
that's
wants
just
to
too
make
good.
it.
Yeah.
But
That's
I'll fire
too
him
good to be
before he
true.
comes in.
Yeah.
Right.
That's like the guy that gives you the 3.5 on a out of 4 on a survey, and you're like calling back and, Mr. Customer, let me ask you a question. What is it that I did that possibly could have upset you? You told me literally when you left it was the greatest experience of your life, and they go, well, yeah, it was the greatest experience of my life, but I hate doing this, so it's never going to be a 4 for me.
Right.
And you're like, do you mind just throwing your survey in the trash then for me, sir?
Yeah,
Like,
it's the teacher that has 20 true or false questions. You get them all right and still gives you an A-.
That's it.
Right?
Yeah. It's like, come on, man. Come on.
Yeah.
I want to talk about your podcast channel too, man. So you've got a couple different things going on YouTube.
Yeah, I'm out on the YouTubes.
Yeah, you're on the
Yeah.
tubes.
I'm not doing a podcast on there yet.
Right.
They just launched podcast on YouTube.
I saw
was it,
that.
3
Yeah,
or
I
4
saw
weeks
that.
ago. So
I
I
saw
might
that.
start doing that. But yeah, no, I've a couple of years back, good friend of mine said, how do you make money on YouTube? And I said, well, it starts by monetizing a channel, and then you can take it off from there. And he said, well, what do you have to do? I said, I guess 1,000 subscribers for 4,000 hours of view time. And he said, how much will you make? I said, I don't know. I never did it before, but there's a lot of people making a lot of money on it.
Yeah.
He said, how long would it take? I said, well, I don't know. Let's see if we can do it in 90 days. And that was a couple of years ago. And
Yeah.
I just said, okay, here's what I'm going to do.
Yep.
And really all I do is pull a car out, walk around it, talk about what I see, have a little bit of product knowledge, and then post it out and try to get it done in an hour and, edit it and not the way it goes. And so here, 3.5 years later or whatever, 2.5 years, a little close to 7,000 on one channel. And the dealer's channel that I do it for is now over 10,000. And
That's not chopped liver, man.
it ain't easy.
No, it's not
No,
easy. It's work.
Yeah.
Right.
But, you get a process, you get your authentic swing. If I can go out and do, I just recently started breaking it into 2 videos because I was doing a 26-minute interior exterior. Now I'm breaking it into an exterior.
Oh, that's smart, actually.
Yeah. I now get 2 videos, and I think I get better. And I mentioned in the videos, if you want to learn about the inside, click here and go to the inside.
Oh, that's
type of
smart.
thing.
It just runs that. And if you want to know even more than that, why don't you go ahead and hit like and subscribe and
Yeah.
put your comment in the thing if you think I missed something.
Yeah. No, I even sometimes challenge people because the people that want to find something wrong with something, I said, hey, great news, I made a mistake somewhere in this video. If you find it, let me know in the comments.
Yeah, yeah,
right.
yeah.
And then
Right.
you get that guy that'll watch the whole video just to find the
just
one
to
thing.
get you. Yeah.
I don't know where I made a mistake. I don't even know what mistake I made, but he'll find it. And, so
There's a TikTok trick I'll throw out there people don't know. So you'll see occasionally now more than occasionally people are dumb and don't know how to spell. But what I've learned is that if you put on your, not just even your comments, but your captions, your big block letter captions, if you'll misspell the thing that you're saying, like here's Tony trying to, whatever trick, and you spell it with 2 Ks or something like that, especially if you're claiming something as an authority, and you misspell something, because the comments drive the algorithm, right? The more people that are commenting, the more times the thing's playing, the more engaged they are, the more likes, et cetera, whatever, right? And so it doesn't matter if it's hate and it doesn't matter if it's love. And it turns out it's a hell of a lot easier to get hate than it is love on the internet, right? Sure. And so by misspelling some of those things, people drive their views up because people get on there like, oh, you're an expert. You're just dumb, And it's like,
well, it's like in the old day of writing emails to customers, make sure you have some typos because then they'll know you actually wrote the emails, but it's a template and it's just a game, but it still works on other social media platforms. For sure. In the car business, they assume you're an idiot, but they're probably mostly right. So we're good with that.
Hey, listen, I have never in my life claimed to be an exceptional speller, so I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I talk real good too.
Oh, this is fun, man.
Yeah, no, it's good stuff.
Yeah, this is fun stuff.
Our industry's changed a lot, but if you're thinking about starting YouTube, you got to stay with it.
That's the key.
You just got to keep moving forward.
Yeah,
and don't take it personal.
Yeah, well, the thing I like about that, I'm looking at your channel here, and what people don't understand is like, look, things are hit and miss, right? I mean, things are hit and miss. Sometimes 320 views. Here's a 12,000 view. Here's a 10,000 view, right? Mm-hmm. But I do know this: you did not have 12,000 views on that 2021 Venza 2 weeks out from it being posted.
No.
That acquired and accrued over time, because what we were talking about this earlier, this is an evergreen process. So what you have is built on. Oh, and that tags back to what you were saying when we were talking offline, is that your voiceovers on for used car dealers and for people selling used cars, those voiceovers are built into that. And you've got 20 years worth of human voiceovers. Yeah. I mean, that's insane.
Yeah. So if you bought and brought back to the lot a 2014 Camry, we've got a human voiceover for that car.
And so they can just take that video and literally just pop VIN specific, and it'll go right in and say the 2014 Camry with a single blah, blah, blah,
yeah, we do that automatically. It's a la carte because some dealers don't have the budget for it. Costs a little extra, but everybody's got a different budget, and you got to scale up and down and down the line. Now you can also do your own voiceovers, by the way.
Yeah.
So we have dealers that they have one guy doing the photo,
and
then they've got a receptionist or somebody's got some time on their hand from their PC. They got a mic. They can watch a video and do the voiceover.
And they just have that run the script.
And GPT
will write you it'll write you the exact thing that you need.
Oh, the exact script.
You can get you can get real fun. You could say, describe to me like Bill Clinton would. Like, have you ever done this?
Oh yeah.
You can get fun with these things. Like I've had guys, I've had 2 comedians arguing. Like have Shane Gillis argue with Mark Norman about whatever the dual purpose of a switchblade comb or something. And it'll go, because anybody that's got the hours, it's so wild, man. It's so wild.
Oh, what's going on with voice recognition? It's unbelievable. There are people they'll call you. Listen to your voicemail.
Yeah.
Listen to your voice. Take your voice and write a script, and then use that script to call your mom and ask your mom to send you money.
Is that real?
That's real. That's real. Can you imagine your mom picking up the phone and they hear your voice and you're like, Mom, my car just died. Can you Venmo me $1,000 or whatever?
That's literally.
And your mother won't even know it's you. And she doesn't pick up. Why? Because nobody answers their phone anymore. They just listen to voicemail. That's happening.
Wow, I had not heard that. I'm literally blown away
by
that.
They could take your voice off of this podcast.
Yeah, that's definitely a thing. And you've got enough time on the tubes, and I've got enough time on the tubes that you could literally have any conversation you wanted with us.
Yeah, they could do an audio book with my voice.
Oh, 100%. Right. Yeah. Did you see the what's the guy's name? The founder or CEO of ChatGPT of OpenAI and Joe Rogan's podcast. Did you see this?
He thinks it's a bad idea.
I do think it's a bad idea.
No, he does.
Yeah.
The founder, yeah.
Yeah. No, for sure.
He's not a fan, but nobody wants to talk about that.
No, but they made a fake one with AI using both of their voices from other podcasts, and they had those two talking.
Back and forth.
Yeah, they had literally put them on an audio podcast. So Rogan's talking. He's like, so tell me about the intricacies of ChatGPT. And he's like, well, it's an interesting concept. And we think, and they're not just cut and splice. They're literally AI generated conversation. And it's like,
Using their voices,
like, what are we going to do?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess what are we going to do? We're going to go to like two-party verification for your phone. I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like for phone calls, like.
Right. To verify the person calling you.
Yeah, it's kind of like ring to your watch and, it's authenticated mom. Hey, mom. Or weird.
Yeah, we're screwed.
We are going to end the world, sir.
It's worse than you know.
Oh, I know it is. It's when you
know.
No, I know.
But it's better than you know. You know who I know.
Maybe, man. Maybe not, right?
Yeah, if you know who I know, it's better than you know.
I'm 47 years old now, so I can be an end of timeser. I'm close enough in age, like to being an old man. I'd be like, these are the end times. Like, these are the end.
That's what that says. In the end days.
Oh, for sure.
Knowledge will increase.
Yeah. Well, that's what it says.
You know? Mine's not increasing, but knowledge is. That's for sure.
My skill set around electronic toys is increasing, but that's about it.
Yeah.
That's about it.
It's a lot to keep up on, that's for sure.
Man, this is fun. I think this is great. I'm glad you're in studio, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much, brother.
Thankful to be here. Thankful to get down to Dallas, hang out with you.
You're awesome.
Glad you could make
No,
the
thank you for
conference.
the invite, dude. It was very, very kind of you. So that was super cool.
good
That was
stuff.
great. Yeah, this is great, man. This is really fun. I think I got to get going. I've been on a 16-hour day, so I got to call it a 12.
Yeah. I was supposed to be in bed 2 hours ago. I'm up at 3:30. You know, time 10 o'clock comes. That's a long
3:30.
time.
Are you still getting up that early right now?
Yeah. Well, not this week.
That's what I mean. Yeah,
This week I've been getting up at 1:45.
Yeah, so
I've been sleeping in 15, so I can hit the tread at 4.
How you run every morning?
No, I just finished a 2-a-day for 100 days,
Okay.
and
How far?
I do
2 miles, 2 a day?
No. I do 45-minute workout at 4 a.m. and then I do another HIIT gym at 4 or 5 in the afternoon. I did that for 100 days and wore out my shoulder, hurt my shoulder.
Yeah.
Physical therapy, neck, the whole deal.
Yeah.
So when I finished that, I reduced it. I was doing about 60 workouts a month. Now I'm down to about 45. So I really cut back. But I'm going to do 75 hard when I get back.
Yeah, that's amazing. What's crazy, man, is I've torn my body to pieces over the last couple of years.
Really?
Torn it to pieces. I've had a reoccurring, and I mean, it's pretty serious shoulder problems. I've had a reoccurring tear, and I think
On the outer or inner?
all four, like all 4 of the conjoining ligaments and tendons that are in this shoulder are all at least 50% torn.
How did you do that?
This was it was a combination of things, right? So it originally tore, and I don't know what tore because I didn't get an MRI, but I tore it on doing a standing barbell presses, right, on like a Smith machine, essentially, and it just, and I was like, it ain't good. I said, all right, fine. Let that heal for a while. I saw a doctor. He's like, well, you can go see an ortho. You know, they get anything. I have nothing for you. Go pay somebody else extra money to go do this. And I was like, And by that time it came around, I was feeling pretty good. And I was like, well, maybe it's okay now. So a few years went by. Every once in a while, I'd get a little tinge of something. You know, you feel like, oh, like, okay, that's still there. But then I picked up, I had a potted plant in my backyard, and which is obviously heavy, but it really looked heavy because it looked like concrete, but it's like foam,
right?
You know,
and so you went to pick it up.
I've made a trick in myself thinking this isn't that big, and it really wasn't that heavy. It's just the wrong way, and I kind of like hoisted it. And I was going to hoist it on my shoulder, and when I did that, it just ripped and dropped, and so been pretty torn. Then I was in a train accident. I was on there's a train that goes between Dallas and Fort Worth called the TRE, the Trinity Railway Express.
Seen it.
Yeah, it's big. I mean, it's a full-size Amtrak train. It's not the little Dart. It's a big train, and full locomotive. And my buddy was in Fort Worth. We were going to go to a concert or something out there, and he's like, "Well, why don't you just take the train up here, and I'll just drive us around, and I'll put you back on the train." Because I live pretty close to the train station. I was like, "Yeah, you know what? That sounds kind of fun. Like, I'll do it, right?" So I grabbed this is back when you could take the scooters. They saw little scooters around town, so they had scooters.
Electric ones?
Yeah, little bird scooters or whatever, the Uber scooters.
Yep.
And so I just, scooted my way 1.5 miles down to the thing. There's usually 10 of them, and I was going to scoot on back. So I get on the train, and we get about, I don't know, 5-6 miles out of town, and they go, hey, there's some track work being done up ahead, so we're going to take you off at Bedford and then put you on a bus and drive you into Fort Worth. And I was like, I have a car, and I could have drove to Fort Worth. Yeah, like this is not the trip that I signed up for. I wish you would have told me this beforehand. Doesn't matter. I'm on the train. It's over. We're driving, and he says, hey, they get back on the intercom, and it's important because he said it a second time, and he goes, we're pulling into Bedford any minute. Don't worry, have a safe deal or whatever, and we'll see in a little bit. And then all you heard was boom, and I got thrown against the wall.
Oh, they hit the construction?
It's different than that. That's what I thought, right? And so if you've ever been on a train track, the rocks they have on the side of that train track are about that big for a reason. They're there to slow you down if you're derailed or whatever, right? It's to move the earth. And these rocks are just flying up, busted. I'm in the very front car, and it's busted every window out of there. And there's fire pouring in on both sides. Well, really the left side, which is where I was sitting. There's fire pouring into this thing.
Where was the fire coming from?
From the dump truck that was crossing the tracks inappropriately that we split in half.
Oh, wow.
And incinerated on site.
Oh.
And we drug that dump truck about a quarter mile down the road with just flames and rocks. And
wow. Like a movie.
It was wild,
Holy
man.
cats.
It was totally wild. Totally wild. Matter of fact, let's see this. Fort Worth.
Got it on the tubes.
Star. No, it's not on there. Telegram. Steve Fusil. Train wreck. Let's see if that pops up. Yeah. There it is. Come on. Don't do that to me. What a jip. Let's see.
Won't let you in.
Yeah, it won't let me in. But anyways, you can see right here, TRA was traveling, blah, 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 with a dump truck killing 2 people. Oh, here, sorry. Boom, boom. I'll put that up on stop. Yeah, right there. Texas train traveling. That's me. I'm on the cover. I'm going to try again, see if I can get on there.
When was it?
Yeah, you kind of flashed my picture on there. But so 4 years ago, 4.5 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was wild. So that toured again. And then I let it go. I was going to get it, servicing that. I didn't have insurance. I was in an independent space and didn't have insurance. Went to a bunch of MRIs and different stuff. And that's where I learned where the tears were. And so long story short, the insurance company didn't pay any of us anything. They paid the dump truck families some money. That was the first to file. It's just Texas law because it's like a city or state funded property or of some kind. Right. So there's no money. It's not Coca-Cola, right?
Right.
So, and I wasn't trying to get rich, but it would have been nice to fix my shoulder. And so then my buddy and I, before I stopped drinking, played football in the NFL as a linebacker. This human being is like our buddy Adam Smith. They look like those two should
6'4",
go
6'5",
Oh
280,
yeah, runs a 4.3 40 on top of it. You know what I mean? Just literally an NFL
like
linebacker.
Cannonball.
Yeah, I mean, I could show you him too. Yeah. Let's see, Brett. I want to pull it up. Brett. Oh man, I can't think of Brett's name. It doesn't matter. Anyway, so Brett's, I don't know why I can't pull his last name. He's a very good friend of mine.
Because 14 hours.
Yeah, exactly. So Brett, we're in the backyard watching some TV. My buddy's got turf in his backyard. He goes and he looks over at this 45-pound bar with like 2 45s on it, and he just walks over with his left hand and just snatches it up and cleans it.
Yeah.
And he's just walking around with this giant, barbell in his hand. He's like, "This is fun." You know?
And the weight's not the hard part; it's the balance on the wrist.
And this kid,
elbow,
this dude's a giant, and I played for the Jets, and so I was like, I can do that. I go over there, whatever. I'm so dumb and ego, and I pick it up, everything's fine. Pick it up left hand, everything's fine, and then that turns into us wrestling because we're grown retards.
Yeah,
I shouldn't say that, but anyways, grown idiots.
And at that time, you had testosterone.
Correct, and I learned at that moment exactly how fast and powerful a linebacker in the NFL is. And because I wrestled a little bit in high school and some other stuff, and took some jujitsu. I'm no expert of any kind, but I knew a couple of tricks and that he didn't know. Yeah. And so I threw a little trick and got him, kind of spun him down and got his back and got a position. For a guy my size, I'd have been killing it there.
Right.
And then he just, and moved my entire body with like zero effort. And I just landed on my shoulder and I was like, oh, now this one's torn. And so this one has been a problem more than this. And it's like, I know so many people that have done the surgeries and all that stuff. And it's like the pain, the time to recover, the physical therapy after. And it's like, I don't know if it's worth it. I don't know if it's worth it, but
I don't know. It won't get better on its own. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, that's true.
Take care of that body. You're going to need it at 120. I'm going to 120. So
Are you really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a bad age.
Moses did it.
Why so low?
Again.
Why so low?
120. Yeah. Well, like I said, Moses did it. God loved him. He loved me. So I'm going to 120. So I'm in pretty good shape.
Hey, declare it here. You heard it here. Declare it here.
Yeah.
I love that.
Declare it out everywhere I go.
I love that. We were literally talking about that this morning. I don't know why people walk around and go, hey, if I make it to 75, 73.
They won't make it to 73.
They won't make it.
They won't.
No, they're looking to die well before that.
Yeah, they're in their 50s and they're talking about, well, I don't want to live to 80. Okay, well, good. You'll be done at 60.
Don't worry about it. You got 10 more years. And I bet 6 of those are tough.
Yeah. No, I'm doing good.
Yeah,
I'm doing good.
You look great, man.
Yeah, no, I just celebrated my 19th year with my new kidney.
What?
19 years, so that's awesome.
That's amazing.
Let's say I'm a lot closer to 60 than I am 50. That's how old I am.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I'm a lot closer to 50 than I am 40.
Yeah,
so.
I know.
I will say this. I had a great trick that I played on myself that I was wrong. It's a good thing I'm not great at math, right? Car math.
You wouldn't be in the car business.
I can do, if I was good at math, I can do car math, right? Tell me how much negative equity you are. Tell me what your credit score is. Tell me how much down payment money you got. Tell me what car you want to buy, and I'll bet you I hit you with an $8 of your payment. Yeah. I hit you with an $8 of your payment. I don't need a calculator.
Yeah.
And Reynolds, who needs that? I can guess the payment. And so I'd been saying all year long that I was 47 years old. 48 years old, right? And 48 years old, I'm sorry. And so I'm telling my mom calls me on my birthday in March, and she goes, happy birthday, babe, blah, blah, blah. I was like, yeah. I was like, shit, Mom, it's 2 more years, I'm 50. She's like, what are you talking about? I got 48 years old. 2 more years, I'll be 50. Duh, math, 2 plus, 48. Yeah. And she goes, well, sweetheart, I was there when you were born. I was there before you were born.
I can remember that.
I remember what day and year you were born, and you're 47 today. And I was like, I'm 47? She's like, yeah. I was like, I scooped a whole free year for being dumb. So I got 1 free year on life. Shit. Yeah, 1 free year. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I just finished, like I said, I finished my 2-a-day for 100 days, and
it's crazy.
I feel really good about the accomplishment. We had a contest at our gym, and it was a nationwide contest.
Yeah.
I finished, of men in my gym, I finished 5th. And of men in the country, I finished 51st.
Wow.
Yeah. And there were 3 top 10 people in the country in my gym. So
that's awesome.
That's
Is it a CrossFit gym?
Yeah. 6,800 people nationwide competed. And
that's crazy, 51, man. So, that's awesome.
Yeah. And there's some young people at those gyms.
Yeah, it's not an age thing. It's
this is a HIIT gym, which is a high intensity interval training gym.
Yeah.
on the bike, on the floor, on the floor.
Yeah.
800 calories, 45 minutes, can't breathe.
That's a lot
heart rate,
of
200.
bro.
Yeah.
It's a lot of calories.
I love it.
What kind of calories are you taking in every day?
I don't know.
You don't know?
No,
eat clean?
I'm probably not taking in 2,000. I can tell you that. Right. But I eat little bits of stuff. Like almond, like a handful of all day long. Yeah, so I don't eat one big meal.
Yeah,
I eat little,
great.
Yeah, a dish of almonds, walnuts. Little stuff.
Yeah. No, that's awesome.
It's enough.
It's enough. It keeps you happy.
Yeah, no, I got a great heart rate, and the way I'm at, my cholesterol, my kidneys working amazing.
That's
19
crazy.
years.
What? How did you? That's where we were. How did you? What brought you to needing a kidney?
Oh, I was born with one.
Oh.
Born with one, and it failed, began in high school, and I had a kidney transplant, 37. Took a while for it to fail.
Were you on dialysis all those years?
No. I was very fortunate, very blessed. Thank my brother. So tracked it for 20 years after high school, And one day the nephrologist said, it's time, you need a new kidney. And I said, okay, great. What's the next step? well, let's find you a donor. And I have brothers and sisters, so we tested my brothers and sisters. My older brother matched 3 out of 6 antigens. Those are measurements to compatibility.
Yeah.
A month later, I had a new kidney.
Wow.
Never went on dialysis.
That's amazing.
Went in, week in the hospital, out, boom, done. Lots of drugs for the next rest of my life.
Yeah.
Right? 78 pills
What?
coming out of the transplant.
What?
A day. 78.
That's a meal.
I used to carry a duffel bag.
That's a pill meal.
Oh, yeah. Now I do about 15-ish.
Wow.
You know, but
What are those? What are they
pills.
for? Like thin out your blood, make this healthy. It's vitamins, for that stuff, of
cholesterol,
course. Yeah.
blood thinners, anti-rejection, several anti-rejections.
Are you still at risk for rejection at
steroids.
this point? I mean, is there still?
Yeah,
I mean, there's always
I-
risk, I would imagine. But
yeah. So I still take two different types of anti-rejection drugs. I take some prednisone. I take
Really?
blood pressure, cholesterol, those types of things.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I've been on these drugs for years.
Wow.
I mean, at one point there was $3,500 a week in drugs. A week, right? Duffel bags, like with paper, schedule. Here's what.
My God.
Yeah, they put you through it with in the transplant, program. So great hospital, University of Wisconsin-Madison, #1 in the country, #2 in the world in kidney transplants.
You just happen to be there.
Yeah. Well, I live in Madison.
Well, that's what. But I mean, it just
yeah,
happened.
just
That's
a-
where you're at. Is what I'm saying.
just
Isn't that great?
just
Isn't that lucky?
amazing.
Yeah.
It places the machine.
Yeah.
Lay down. That was when I thought they should do surgical zippers. Yeah, somebody should come up with a surgical zipper.
Okay, my face moved. Like,
Yeah.
what do you mean?
Well, imagine if you had a C-section, you got pregnant, and need another one. Instead of cutting you open, you just zip it out, and zip it back. Somebody should.
You know what they need to do is just it's a
surgical
Ziploc
zip.
bag. It's the you just
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
the person you can hold it and shake them.
These are the things I think about when I can't get to sleep.
I'm going to give you a severe prescription of melatonin, sir, and see what I can do about helping you.
Yeah, no. So if you're interested in investing in my surgical zipper operation, we're good.
You can please see Tony at.
There you go.
Hop on the Modern Day Car Sales show, man.
Yeah, I
Talk all about
witty
it.
and crass.
That's
Witty
it.
and crass.
Witty and crass. I love it, man. I love it. This has been fun, man.
is
I really
great.
appreciate it.
Great.
Thank you,
Yeah,
brother.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. Cool.
Awesome.
That was fun.